Hey, everybody. Just want to welcome you on here today. I'm Jonathan Price.
I'm T.R. Williams.
We want to talk to you today about some things coming up here at Remnant Church. We have set up the podcast room. We want to start doing a Testimony Tuesday. Probably going to be releasing a podcast maybe a week. And TR, kind of tell who we want to try to reach on that.
Well, there's people that are out there that have kind of lost hope.
Right.
They've prayed, they've not seen answers coming yet. They don't understand why God's not answering their prayers.
Right.
And one of the things that a testimony does is it creates an atmosphere. It helps people's faith. It creates an atmosphere for those miracles to be duplicated again. It gives hope to people who have not had any hope. And when I hear about somebody's child being delivered,
Right.
it gives hope to mothers whose children have not been delivered from addictions. And when I hear about people who said that they have prayed and prayed and prayed for a child to be saved, and then all of a sudden a mother who's been praying for her children, a daddy's been praying for her children, all of a sudden it elevates their faith to continue to pray for their children to be saved. When I hear about somebody that's been healed of cancer, if I've got cancer, it's going to elevate my faith to believe that if God healed them, God will heal me too. And so testimonies are a very powerful, powerful thing. I know that when the lady with the issue of blood touched the hem of Jesus' garment, just a few chapters or so after that, people were coming and touching the hem of Jesus' garment.
We look at the book of Revelation, it says that they overcame by the blood of the Lamb
And by the word
of their testimony.
Yeah.
TR, growing up in church, I'll have to say, going back and looking over all the years, probably the powerfulest service I ever sat in would be a testimony service. As a child, I can actually remember falling under conviction in church during a testimony service, not a preaching service, not singing, not worship, but when somebody actually stood and testified and told how good their God was and what they're going through, it really got to me.
When I was a kid and I was lost in church, I hated testimony service.
Yeah.
They bothered me.
Right.
I could ignore the preaching. I could tune out the singing. But there was something about a testimony service that would bring conviction. When some little old granny would stand up in church crying and starting to talk about how that she had a financial need and didn't know how she was going to meet it, and then somehow God provided for her, or when she was sick and doctors didn't have any answers for her, and God healed her, or when she was praying for her children, or any of those things happened to somebody like that, and those little old grannies were standing up with tears streaming down, and the conviction and the Holy Spirit would come in that place. I don't know what it is about a testimony service. When you start lifting up the name of the Lord, and the Holy Spirit just comes into the room. I hated testimony services when I was a kid because they were so powerful. They convicted me.
Well, guys, I think we have testimonies coming up on Tuesdays, Testimony Tuesdays. Be looking on our Facebook page. We'll be posting where it's at, maybe on YouTube, Facebook, and watch the testimonies and see how it changes lives. But also, there's a lot of questions, Brother TR, about there's questions like, how did Remnant Church come together? What do I do after I'm saved? What about baptism? We're gonna be discussing some things on a podcast about, hey, what now? It's even been brought up because we see this a lot about, am I called to preach? Am I called to ministry? Who's preaching? Who's called to do what? And look from a testimony point of that. Of what God's done in our life, what the Word says. And so, guys, if you would, stay tuned in, look for the news, look for the post, follow our Facebook page, Remnant Church. And so look forward to seeing all of you and what God does in your life. Thank you.